Hello friends. The 705th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Today, the Russian Ministry of Defense officially announced that the Russians captured Tabaivka in the Kupiansk section of the Kharkiv direction. I know that yesterday Ukrainian military telegram channels confirmed the capture of the village by the Russians. Deep State, commenting on this situation, wrote that the Ukrainian armed forces now face a choice: to risk erasing reserves to restore positions, or to stabilize the line of contact and gain a foothold on new frontiers. But the Ukrainian armed forces today denied Russian information about the capture of Tabaivka. The enemy claims that they have already captured Tabaivka. This is not true. There are battles taking place not far from this settlement, said Fideo, spokesman for the Ground Forces Command. He says that the Russians are storming near 10 settlements in the Liman and Kupiansk sections, but the Ukrainian armed forces are repelling the attacks. Meanwhile, today Deep State reports that the settlement is now in the gray zone. The Ukrainian army is trying to restrain the Russians from further advances, and stabilization measures continue. The Russians were unable to gain a foothold and were driven back to the edge of the village. That is, the Ukrainian armed forces carried out a counterattack. Now the fighting continues. The geography of the village does not contribute to the defense of Tabaivka. It is located in a lowland between two ridges and is filled with swamp. It's difficult to stay there without control of these two heights. Deep State also writes in its latest review that due to the resulting chaos, the Russians had successes in the forest west of Synkivka. Currently, measures are being taken to stabilize and restore positions. Why is there such chaos in the Kupiansk sector? Because the stripes are held by hodgepodges from different battalions of different brigades. The interaction between them often leaves much to be desired. Unfortunately, the enemy has recently had a number of tactical successes and will continue to have, if we don't change, writes Deep State. In the Bakhmut section, according to data from the Ukrainian side, without significant changes, the enemy is gathering reserves to resume assault operations. In the Avdiivka direction, there are heavy shooting battles in the southern part of Avdiivka and in the area of the Tsar's Hunt complex, where the enemy continues to strengthen its group. The Russians attacked the positions of the defense forces south of Novomykhailivka, but were unsuccessful. North of Opatny, our fighters had to retreat to more advantageous positions, where the Russians advanced up to 1.3 kilometers wide and to a depth of 430 meters. The Russians also advanced in Pervomaiske. These events took place last week, and there were hopes for the restoration of lost positions. The enemy's advance is recorded in an area up to 460 meters wide and to a depth of up to 380 meters. Heavy fighting continues in the Marinka sector in the eastern outskirts of Heorhiivka. North of Novomykhailivka, the enemy captured the fortified area, the Varonets, and advanced westward in an area up to 2.1 kilometers wide and to a depth of 1.2 kilometers. Fighting is now continuing along forest belts in the western and southwestern directions of the fortified area. The enemy's next target is a fortified area on the Marinka, Novomykhailivka road section. Meanwhile, electronic warfare systems have switched to trench mode and can now be used by any soldier, the Ukrainian military said in the video. He showed a compact device, which at the front is called a frying pan. It jams the control channel or GPS of the drone if it is in line of sight. There are simpler devices that constantly emit interference, and there are more effective ones that first detect a drone and then work precisely on it. In this case, the device is more difficult to detect. The device simply kills any nearby drone, says a Ukrainian armed forces soldier. Range from 300 to 500 meters. According to the military man, the problem is that the Ukrainian armed forces are forced to look for frying pans and components for them via the internet, while Russia has begun to produce them independently in serial mode. This is even more scary for us because it will spread on all fronts, said the author of the video. In his opinion, this could lead to massive losses of drones in the Ukrainian army, since a trench electronic warfare system is almost impossible to detect and destroy, unlike stationary systems.
Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.